So I'm doing a series about why church, what's the importance of church. And yesterday we looked at how sometimes there's real flaws in churches, and people have seen churches that honestly give a bad impression of what the church is. And so today I want to talk about what do we do about it? How do we respond? What should we do? I was reading a blog from a gentleman, and pretty much what he said was, I quit the church. I'm not going to church anymore. I used to be a pastor, but it's so political. It's so fake. I'm just not going to go. And that seems to be the approach of a lot of young people that I talk to. They were either hurt in church, or they had a bad experience, or they saw how fake, how political, how things are just about money. And they just said, well, I'm just done with church. I would argue, though, that's a bad way to respond. Obviously, if those of us who think that there's elements of church that need to be changed or be purified to be more biblical all left the church is never going to change. That would be like those of us who say America needs to improve some things all got up and moved to a different country. Obviously, America wouldn't change. The Bible talks about how later on the Spirit of God will be removed from the world, and because of that, much of the evil that's going to come about in the tribulation is going to be a result of that. And so obviously, if those of us who are challenged by the Holy Spirit to change the church, to improve it, all left, the church wouldn't get any better. And even more so, we would miss out on the beauty of what the biblical church is supposed to be. We're going to talk about that in a few sessions. But what Jesus implemented in the church, it's a beautiful community. And it exists to accomplish a beautiful purpose, to share good news, to heal the hurting people of this world, both physically and spiritually. And so to give up on the church is defeatist, and I really think it's a lazy approach. If we want to change the church, we should be the change that we want to see. We should start the change, and it should be a biblical change. Sometimes we want changes that are personal, but not really biblical. But if you look at the biblical model of church, I believe it's worth fighting for. I believe it's worth dying for.